Welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For all your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared in helping survivors of bullying. So let them help you.
Social media is buzzing this morning about a young boy who says he was bullied at West Middle School in Nampa.
Now, Jeff Platt spoke to the 11-year-old and his mother, who claims the bullying didn't actually start with classmates, rather his teacher.
Bullying by kids is enough, but being bullied by a teacher, that's a whole entire different story.
William Donaldson claims after he made a joke in one of his classes, his teacher responded by referring to the young boy's skinny jeans as girls' pants. William says the embarrassment only started there as his classmates piled on and started calling him girly pants.
Some of the kids made fun of me in the hall, like one would say that, a ton of other kids would laugh.
William says he went home crying that day and kept crying until he fell asleep. His mother says William is on the shy side and avoids confrontation, so when she found out why her son was so upset, she went to parent-teacher conferences to handle the situation herself.
I did not go with the intention of having a big fight. It just needed to be addressed.
However, Michelle says after the teacher brushed her and her family off without trying to resolve the issue, what started off as a conversation between a teacher and a family became much more.
And the teacher spoke with the principal about that conversation, and then there was a conversation between the principal, those individuals, and two others. That conversation deteriorated. The individuals were asked to leave.
The Nampa School District is now investigating both the alleged comment made to William in the classroom, as well as how the events which unfolded at the parent-teacher conference were handled. However, because of the social media attention this has gotten and reported threats made to the teacher, principal, and others, the district is asking people to simmer down until they get the story straight. Jeff Platt, KBOI2, principal, and
Wow, very interesting. Tully, first time in a long time. Tully's joining us for our Italy show, because now we're in Italy, and this is Tully's first time. Tully, thank you for joining us. I hope you and the family are doing well, and I hope that you're settling into your home. So, someone sent me this story. It's an old story. It's not a new story. So, sent it to me as an idea to do a story about it or talk about it. So here we are, we're talking about it. So what would you do? So, all too often teachers are the bullies. It's not students, it's teachers are the bullies. Some teachers should not be teachers. Let's just put that out there straight away. Slay the Runner, thank you for joining the show. Some teachers should not be teachers. Some teachers, now I know some students don't act properly and act tough, like they almost bully the teachers. I'll admit that. But as an adult, you should know better not to engage in that type of behavior. When I was a mailman, all too often, the public does not like, a good majority of the public does not like United States Postal Service carriers. I think because overall, most people who are work for the United States Postal Service have no idea of customer service and just don't care. And I think because of that, a large majority of the public does not like United States postal workers. So yes, lots of times we are, I don't want to use the word bullied, but people do try to, what's a good way of putting it? They try to intimidate us. That's a good way of doing it. Intimidate us either with physical harm or with legal harm, or telling us, well, I'm going to call your supervisor and get you fired. All types of things I've been told. But as a postal worker, I cannot engage in that, and that's the same thing with teachers. Tully says, yes, we're all well and happy and good. Glad to hear that. Tully also goes on to say, yes, the subject is quite revealing to what happened to what is happening with Brianna. Oh, okay. And Brianna is Tully's daughter. Oh, please do tell. Please do tell, Tully. I've been thinking about her the last couple of days, and I'm hoping that she is okay and all is well. So, for those of us that are joining us and did not understand the video we just showed, this kid that you see, his teacher called the pants he was wearing girly pants, and because of that, all the kids started bullying him and teasing him, calling him girly pants. So when students are calling kids names, it shouldn't be the teacher who created that name. Whatever it may be. If they call this kid nerd, it shouldn't have not been the teacher who created that. And this happens all too often. And I have been sent tons and tons of videos from kids, and good for you, you kids, good for you. Kids who have secretly recorded their teacher either bullying another classmate or bullying them. And good for you. I think whether we live in a country or a state that doesn't allow us to record without people's permission, I think we should still do it. And with that, I'm going to throw a disclaimer. Please speak to an attorney, a doctor, or your parents or a professional before doing any of the things I tell you on this episode or any of the episodes of Live Feed. Again, please consult your doctor, your lawyer, your parents, or any professional before doing any of the things I tell you. But that is my opinion. All too often people hide in the shadows, hide in the legal shadows too, if you guys know what I mean. In other words, while I know somebody can't record without my permission, so I'm going to act as crazy as I can because no one's going to record me without my permission. No, record them without their permission. That's my opinion. That is just my opinion. It's not the opinion of the Bully Exposed or Traveling Tech Teachers. That's just my opinion. Keep that footage rolling. The other day I was talking with someone who is in the video business as well, and he's worked for, I believe he told me, CNN and other big corporations filming, and he said something that is so true. If you have one of these, you know what this is, right? Everybody knows what this is. If you have one of these, you are a filmmaker, you are a journalist, and that is so true. I like to call it a street journalist. If you're recording police brutality, you're a journalist, a street journalist, and you have the right to continue filming. Don't let anyone tell you turn off your recording device. That's the way I look at it. Impressoth. Thank you for joining the show, and I'm sure I butchered that name up. I apologize. Tully says, we have been trying to work with her teacher with the problem she's having and still dealing with this one girl who is a classroom student. Yes, that's horrible. That's horrible. Yes, I remember we were talking about it several months ago. It's still going on. That's a shame. I don't understand why schools cannot get this bullying thing on the wraps. Now, I'm a fair person here. If student 1, okay, says that student 2 is bullying her, yes, we just can't go and punish student 2 because most of the time it could be student 1 that's doing all the bullying. Bullies do that, unfortunately. They bully the person and then they go running to the teacher the minute the person stands up for themselves and says, she's bullying me or he's bullying me. So we can't just right away start to suspend or punish people the minute two students say, I'm being bullied. But there's one thing that you can do, and you can separate the students and tell both students, if any of you come in contact, you're going to be in trouble. So separate yourselves. You don't speak to him. You don't speak to him. Let's make it fair. Because yeah, it's hard. It's hard to sit there with everything that's going on. Teachers are underpaid. Okay, and it's hard to see who the real bully is. But I know one thing: if you just happen to pay a little bit more attention than you are, teachers and principals, you will see who the real bully is. It's not very hard to see. You know, especially if you have several students. Let's throw another student in here. We have student 1, student 2, right? Let's throw student 3 in here. Student 3 says, student 1 is bullying me. Then you have student 4, and he says the same, he or she says the same thing. Chances are student 1 is the bully, and it's just a matter of paying attention, and never tell students, why are you near him? Because all too often, I've seen videos like this take place where student 1 is bullying student 2, but the teacher asks student 2, well, why are you near him? And student 2, of course, says, well, I wasn't near him. I was here, and he came to me, and he started bullying me. So never ask those things. Never ask. Stay neutral unless it's something you absolutely saw with your own eyes. That's what I do when I'm put in this situation. You don't think I get tons of, we as the Bully Exposed, get tons of videos saying this person's bullying me, and we can't right away just go to that person and say, you're a jerk, we're going to ban you. No, I need proof. What are these people saying to you? And I stay neutral until I have all the facts. And that's the best way to be. And I know sometimes for the person being bullied, it's not all that great, but that's the way it has to be. And that's why I say that the best way to end the bullying is to learn to defend yourself and speak up. That's the best way, because the teacher's not going to have your back. Okay, the principal's not going to have your back. The school system's not going to have your back. You have to have your own situation. Don't be afraid to make friends. Okay, have a group of friends with you, because if you have a group of friends with you, most of the time you're not going to get bullied, because I bet you any amount of money that bully has a group of people with him, right? Yeah, the answer is yes. If you haven't noticed, the answer is yes. So, this situation with this Napper teacher is really not as bad as some of the things I've heard. I'm not saying that this is not important. This is important. I'm just saying I've seen teachers hit students. I've seen a video. One of our followers sent us, showing the teacher and the grabbed the student, and they fell to the ground, and the teacher picks up a chair, puts the chair over the student, and then sits on top of the chair. So those are physical bullying. This one's more of a, not that in this, doesn't mean that it's not just as important, but this is more of a verbal abuse. But this verbal abuse could lead to that physical abuse. And good job for this student speaking up and saying something. The one other thing that I want to mention is that when I was coming up with this subject, I had one of my followers say that, there's been a lot of message. Pico's in the house. Thank you, Pico, for joining us. Jabo 1900, thank you for joining us. And let's see. Sorry about that, Tully. So Tully goes on to say, her main teacher and her principal is on board with everything. However, the other teachers are giving Brianna a difficult time. Well, tell those other teachers to mind their business. That's what I say. we we are now going to put Brianna in a mainstream classroom. She is currently in special education. Oh, she's in special education? I'm sorry to hear that. I'm doing. Pico says, "How you doing?" I'm doing fine. So I don't know why the other teachers are having a hard, difficult time with it. But my opinion to you is, respectfully say to them, sorry you're having a rough time with this, but this is the way me and my wife feel we should go forward. That's the way I look at it. The other thing I want to mention is, one student one time told me that he was being bullied by his teacher, and the teacher said, "Go ahead, tell the principal. No one's going to believe you. I'm the teacher, and you're the student." The one thing I want to say about this, to me, that is a technique that your bully uses to keep you silent. I just saw a documentary the other day where this guy he did some very negative things. I'm going to put it that way. And when he got caught, he was saying that there was someone else telling him to do these things, and they said if I didn't do it, they were going to kill my parents. Now I understand. Okay, don't think I'm this rude. Not rude, but don't think I'm this heartless person. I'm not a heartless person. Okay. I understand those are your parents. You don't want any harm to come to them. But you also got to think in your mind that could be a technique used by the bully to keep you silent. And the one thing this is what I would do. And again, consult a professional before doing any of the things I tell you to do on any of the videos that you see on this channel. But first thing I would do, if someone ever said to me, tell your parents, tell whoever you want, and I'll kill your parents, let's just say. First thing I would do is run and tell my parents and say, don't get, don't go crazy, don't get upset, but I want to tell you this. My teacher is bullying me, and he said that if I tell you, he is going to, hurt you. And the reason why you do that is so that your parents are alert that it's a possibility that there's a threat against their lives. So that way they can do whatever they have to do to prepare for that. Now that's the first thing I would do. And then now that everybody's been warned, then you'll have to live your life a little cautiously. Watch your back, watch when you go out at night. There's a thing that the police call, or not police, but I believe police call it too, but bodyguards call the transition. When you go from your home to your car, that time from your home to your car is called transition. And it's always important to watch your surroundings when you go through your transition. So just watch. So if you're going from your car to your house, that's a transition. When you go from your house to your car, that's a transition. When you go from your car into the store that you're going to, that's a transition. Watch your surroundings whenever you've been threatened. I think that's an important thing to do. And I think you should watch it now. If you watch it now, even though you're not threatened, if you're in a situation like that, you're already used to watching your transition into different buildings. So get used to now watching your surroundings when you transition from your car to your home, or from your store to your car, or wherever. Always be aware of your surroundings, and in that way you don't have to worry when you become this type of person that is threatened. Because you should never stay silent. Never. That's never an option, okay? Because they win. And you have to understand that when they tell you, I'll kill your parents, I'll kill you, or when they tell you, no one's going to believe you. You think I haven't been told that? I've been told by supervisors, go ahead, tell I had a supervisor. I tell you a story. I had a supervisor say, "I'm gonna cut your nuts off if you're not finished with your work by a set time," and and then said to me, "Go ahead, tell somebody I said that. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm the supervisor. You're the employer. So you can't, employee, excuse me. You can't believe that. You can't let them silence you with that. Yes, you might tell 5,000 people the story, and 5,000 people will just say so, but you gotta keep going for that 5,001. That one person that's gonna say this is wrong, and I'm gonna make sure it doesn't happen again. All right, let's see. We have found out that says Telly, this one girl is question has been really bad has been really bad behavior, and she has even been taken out of regular school and put in special ed education classroom. Oh, that's interesting. Which is totally stupid. Yeah, that is totally stupid. You're a problem child, so now you put in special education. You know that, and that's a shame, and that's really a shame. Pico says, "Why am I more angry after joining amateur boxing matches?" I don't know, Pico. Why? I don't know if Pico meant to form that in the sense of in a form of a question, but that's okay. Let us know. Let us know. Yeah, that is stupid. That, it's really a shame how many societies deal with problem people. Unfortunately, the Catholic religion, when they have a priest that's a problem, they move them up to the ranks. The postal service is the same way. Most government jobs, I believe, in the United States are the same way. Where you got a problem person, you send them, you get rid of them, and you can't get rid of them by demoting them, because I don't know why, but that's what they do. To me, if you have a person that you made a supervisor and they sexually harass women, you shouldn't move them up to regional manager. You should move them back down to wherever they came from. But unfortunately, most societies don't do that. They move them up. And I think it has to do with Leanne Burns. Thank you for joining the show. I think it has to do with people being afraid that they will complain that they've been demoted. But if you deserve to be demoted, you deserve to be demoted. It's ridiculous. But that's how most societies are. And to me, what they're doing to this girl is the thing that society does most of the time, which is move a person up, rather than move them down. And I haven't seen Miss Burns in a while. Thank you, Miss Burns, for joining the show. But yeah, that's what goes on. I don't get it. And I hope and Tully, please stay on it. Please stay on it every day, even if you have to call those people every day. You remember, Tully, I know you remember, and you too, Pico, when we were moving from Guam to Italy. It took almost 6 months before we got our what were we waiting for? I think our green card, or no, we were waiting for our visa. To give us the okay to go to Italy. My wife called them every day. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's me. Please, Tully, stay on that school every day. Call them every day. Hey, how you doing? Especially if Brianna tells you she bullied me again. This is what happened. Write it all down. Or have Brianna write down what happened. Write down who was the time, the date, the time, who was a witness, what had occurred, and what was the finishing result of the whole conversation. Write that all down, Tully, please. And then call the principal and say, "Hey," or even go over the principal's head and go to the superintendent if that's what you. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, this is Tully, and on April 17th, my daughter has informed me that this happened at this time, and this was the result of what happened. These were the witnesses that were there, and I'm hoping that you'll handle that. Simple call like that. Call every day. One, you're telling the person, I'm keeping track of every time my daughter's bullied, and I'm making a record of it by calling you. That's what I would do. You stay on them. You let them realize that they're doing that. And this is the one thing that, and it happened in this story. If you guys did not pick up on the news, she had a parent-teachers meeting with the principal and I believe the teacher, and it turned into a big fight, and they had to leave. Most schools are going to do that, unfortunately. They're going to try to pick a fight with you so that you'll threaten them or you'll raise your voice, and then they say, I don't feel safe anymore having this discussion with you. They call police, they call the school police if they have that, and then they say you have to be removed. So you have to keep your voice down. Even if they're the ones yelling, that's the unfortunate part of it. Even if they're the ones yelling, I'm sorry, you guys are writing so much stuff. I don't know why it's not popping up, but let's go to this real quick. I don't know why I'm more angry since you started boxing, since you started to learn to box. Well, hit that bag a little more, Pico, and that should help you. Ms. Burns says, glad to be here. Yes, it's been a long time. I'm so glad you're here. I box using a full headgear. That's important. Good job, Pico. And let's see. And Tully says, this girl has a lot of mental issues. She has also, throughout her prime school years, been quite cruel to her own family pets. Ooh, that's a sign of a serial killer. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's a sign of a serial killer. Most famous serial killers have started by hurting animals. Jeffrey Dahmer, one of the main ones. I think it was hamsters or rats. He was killing. I saw this other film. You guys should check it out. I think it's on Netflix. It's called Don't F with Cats, and it's a video where a guy kills two kittens on YouTube. He actually does it. I don't know if he did it live, but he did it and then posted it on YouTube. And next thing you know, he ended up killing someone. So that is the sign of a serial killer, and I hope that they address that properly. And that's the more reason why Brianna needs to start learning to defend herself, because she could be in a position where I hope that I'm not alarming people. This doesn't mean we all go crazy and jump off a bridge. That's not what this means. It just means that we be a little more careful. Miss Tex, thank you for joining the show. We got some new names today. Thank you guys for joining the show. And forgot to tell you guys, whether you're watching this live or recorded version, please smash that heart for me one time. Show me some love, guys. I know, and I want to apologize. April 6th was the last time I did a video. It's now April 17. That's almost 11 days. I am so sorry. Been really busy working on videos. Now that we're not quite out, but now that we're almost out of the COVID, more people are requesting videos, so I've been more busy doing videos. Thank you for showing that love, guys. Thank you. But if Tully is going to come on and Pico going to come on every time I do a show, because I really enjoy talking with you guys, I would definitely do my best to come on. It's hard after working like 11 hours. That's what I'm doing. About 11 or 12 hours doing video, to come on and think of think of something to talk about, topic, and then do some artwork for it. It's so hard. But you guys, please keep sending your ideas. I know Tully and Pico are good at that, and I thank you guys so much for that. You're good at sending me, hey, what about a video about this? What about a video on that? Keep those things coming, please. And again, guys, comment in the comment section. A lot of you DM me, what about this? What about that? And that's great, but do it in the comment section. That way people can talk and they can give me ideas more, I can get more ideas of what to talk about. I have no problem coming up here with very cheap art, you know what I mean? Very cheap art, and start a conversation with Pico and Tully. I have no problem with that. But usually I try to do the art real nice, just in case it's just me talking with myself. And something's got to look not good, right? So let's see. Pico says he has to go. No problem. Thank you for stopping by. Smash that heart one more time, Pico, please. And Tully says he'll talk to you soon. So yeah, with this thing with Brianna, I will admit it. I am very upset that it's still going on, that the school has not done something to end this. But that's definitely something I would suggest, Tully, getting on the phone with the principal, and if he's not doing something, get on the phone with the superintendent, with his boss, and anytime Brianna has something to say, write it down. Sit down with Brianna, and even if you write it down, what happened, Brianna? I wouldn't even write things down. At this point, I would record. Sit down, put your phone on record, or get some recording device, put it on to record, and then say, what happened, Brianna? And talk about that. And then you, Tully, write it all down, and then get on the phone with the principal or superintendent or whoever is above the superintendent. If they're not working it out, let them know that you're talking to your daughter every day, that we're writing things down. You don't have to say we're getting this all down. You don't have to say it. Just repeat. When he'll pick it up when he sees that the date, the time, the people involved, what came out of the situation, what was the situation all about. He'll get in his head that you're paying attention, and then you call him every day. Every day you call him, and that's what it takes, unfortunately, until the world realizes, that when someone says I'm being bullied and they have real good proof, we need to pay attention and we need to separate these. I don't understand why the teachers or the school can't say, you were in another school before, and then we took you out and we put you into this special education, and now you're bullying students here. I think it's time for you to go. Period. I don't know why the schools can't say that. Brianna is kind of sad because she might not see her other friends, but we promised her that she would not. I'm confused. That she would not see her friends, or that you would not. She will see her friends. Is that what you meant? I think that's what you meant. That she will see her friends. I'm really feel very sad for Brianna that this is going on, and I feel so helpless. I want to get down to Australia and say, hey, hello, wake up. What are you guys doing? But that's really sad. But the schools got to learn to do better. The schools have to learn to do better. That's for sure. When I see a bullying situation, and I know people will say, well, you're not a teacher, Richards. You don't know what it's like. I may not be a teacher, but I see bully situations on the street. And I sit and I watch before I jump in, and it's not very hard to me to figure out who's the bully and who's not the bully. You know, maybe it might be a situation where in the past, the one person was the bully, and now the person who's being bullied is being the bullier. But most of the time, it's not hard to see who the bully is, and I don't understand why schools make it this like rocket science of how do we understand who the freaking bully is and who the person is being bullied. It's not rocket science, guys. It's not. Tully says she will see her friends. Yes, that's what I thought you meant, Tully. Yeah, I'm glad. She's going to need her friends now. And I definitely would try and find other students that this teacher, I mean, that this girl is bullying. I would definitely find other students who are being bullied by her. But this is something that is horrible. You know, when I was a kid, okay, I'll tell you how bad things are. When I was a kid, there was a student who was bullying. Let's say, well, I don't know if he was bullying. I shouldn't say that. The teacher and him got into a scuffle, a physical scuffle, and the teacher was only a substitute, so the substitute got fired. Now, this substitute came from a long list of family who have been teachers. His mother was a teacher, his grandmother was a teacher, and I think his great-grandmother was a teacher. So when he lost his job as a substitute teacher, it really hurt him. And he came in to school with a gun and shot the student. Didn't kill him, but he shot him. And then he held the whole classroom captive for like hours. It was a big thing in New York. And you know, it's just I'm just lost for words how a teacher can be the bully. And teachers are supposed to be. We send our kids to school with the hope that they're protected and with the hope that the teachers will do what's right. And unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't work. When I was a kid, for me, most of the teachers who were jerks to me was because they were racist, and you can see that by the things that they say, or you can hear that by the things that they say, that they were racist. So if they bullied you, it's because of the color of your skin, and it's a shame. And the teachers should know better. Definitely, teachers should know better. Yes, the list of other kids this one girl has been bullied is so quite long. Wow. You need to team up with those other students if they're willing to team up with you. I mean, I understand. Trust me, I understand that's a problem. You know, it is the other thing about bullying. If you're not willing to help another student when you see bullying by saying, hey, you know, that student's bullying me too. If you're choosing to stay quiet because you're like, oh, thank God, now she's bullying another student, I don't have to worry. You know, that's the wrong approach to take, but all too often that happens. I witnessed that myself. There would be students who, not students, when I worked, this is when I worked, there would be employees that hated the woman who was bullying me, who always had something negative to say about her. But when it came down to a situation of like upper management saying, hey, we're going to ask other people if they have a problem with her, guess what upper management would say? Even though doesn't mean we can trust them. Upper management would say, there's no one else saying that she's bullying. There's no one else saying that they witnessed your bullying. And it's not because it didn't happen. It's because these people are scared to stand up and talk and say something. And they don't understand that that's why the bullying continues. And so I hope that There are other students that are willing to say, yes, I saw her bullying Brianna. Yes, she bullies me. Uh, we need to get her out of school. Something. I hope they're standing up on the behalf. Because when you stand up in the behalf of Brianna, you're standing up for yourself too. And you're ending the bullying for yourself too. But a lot of people do not see that. They just look at it like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved. Like, I'll show you a good example. One day I was working as a postal carrier, and I think it was like 5 students they weren't getting into a fight, but they were pushing around these 2 other students. They just came off a bus, and these 5 kids were pushing these other 2 kids around and yelling at them and all that. Yeah, I didn't go out there and say, hey, you guys, stop. It's 5 students. Now, what happens 90% of the time? If I would have went out there and said, hey, you guys, stop. Leave these 2 other kids alone. Those 2 other kids would have probably walked away and said, oh, it's not our problem anymore. And left me there to deal with 5 kids. And these weren't little kids. So I'm not telling you to go out there and put yourself in any physical harm. But you can write a statement. You can say, anonymously, yes, this has happened to me. Never put yourself in physical harm like that. So what I did in that instance is I called the police, and the police came out. That was my way of saying I'm not just going to look and stand by while these 5 kids push these 2 kids around. So I had the 2 choices: get out there and tell the kids to stop and probably injure myself, or call the police. So I'm not telling any of you guys to physically get in the mix of anything. I have been in situations where I got into the mix of something, and I stood there and separated a bully from the person he was bullying. I have done that. But I'm not telling you guys to do that. But you have to get involved, because when you get involved, especially if you're being bullied by the same kid, when you speak up, that's helping you too. Thanks for the love. And again, guys, whether you're watching this live or recorded version, smash that heart like Tully just did. This has been so frustrating, says Tully, for my wife and I. It's like the school is protecting her, but not looking after Brianna. Yeah, I agree. And you should tell the school that. You should tell the school that's how you feel, if you haven't already. You should tell the school that. So many people don't like to say things like what you just said, Tully, because they're afraid that it's controversial, or that it'll upset people. But there's sometimes you gotta say something. Who is it better? Is it better to upset the principal than to upset your daughter, or than to upset yourself? You said yourself, it's so frustrating. Is it better to frustrate the principal than to frustrate you and your wife? I think it is. So go out there and do that. Go out there and tell the principal exactly what you want. I've seen videos where, kids or parents say, if the person bullies you, you do whatever you have to do so that they don't bully you again. And they're talking about physical. I'm not talking about physical. I'm simply saying, stand up for yourself, stand up for yourself, stand up for yourself. That's what I'm saying. Never be afraid to get the principal upset, or get the other student upset. This is the instance where you think of yourself, you be selfish, and you do what you need to do to stop that bullying. Then if the bully decides, well, if you're not gonna stay quiet, then I'm gonna make this physical by either threatening your parents, or like I said in the beginning of the show, there have been teachers that said that you tell your parents, I'll beat your parents up, or I'll beat you up. Don't worry about someone physically threatening you, because good percentage of the time, they're just saying that to keep you silent. And 2, you can't stay silent by that, because then you're trapping yourself, and the only way out, unfortunately, for some people, is suicide. That's never the way out, but unfortunately for some people it is. And let me say this before I continue. Please consult your lawyer, doctor, parents, or professional before doing any of the things I tell you on this show or any episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. My wife has made many interviews, says Tully, with her principal at great lengths, but it seems to be falling on deaf ears. Wow. So then it's time to go to the next level. You know, unfortunately, Mr. Principal, I don't feel that you're handling this situation with my daughter to the best of our likeness. That's not a good word to use, but so we're going to take it up to the next level. We're going to take it to, in America, it would be like the superintendent. We're going to take it up to the superintendent, and the superintendent doesn't work, then it's to a mayor or senator or something of that nature. Just keep going up and up and up and up until someone says you're going to stop. But the most important thing is to teach your kids to stand up for themselves, because that's what's truly going to end bullying. That's what's truly going to end it. If you stand up for yourself and say enough is enough, we're going to end this right here, right now. That's the best way. If a student is saying, hey, girly pants, and they're calling you girly pants, you can choose to just simply say, hey, let's grow up. I know this is high school, or I know this is elementary school, but we don't have to act like babies. Let them tell them. Then if the bully decides to take it physical, then you go to the next level and defend yourself. That's the way I look at it, and that's the only way. Because, like I said, most of the time, not all of the time, most of the time, a bully is someone who has no confidence. And a bully, as I said this 1,000 times on this show, a bully is like a thief. Okay, a thief comes into your home when you're not there, gets in quick, takes as what they can, and leaves. And that's the same thing that a bully wants. The bully wants to feel good about putting someone down without having any conflict or any problems. So if you stay quiet, then in my opinion, you're going to be targeted more, because you're a quiet target. And this is why parents too need to speak up. Call the principal every day. Don't be afraid to say, I'm going up to the next level. I'm going to see the superintendent now. Superintendent doesn't help, I'm going to go see the mayor. Mayor doesn't help, I'm going to see the governor. Governor doesn't help, I'm going to see the senator. Now I'm talking New York and Australia, they might have a different level, but senator, president, whatever you have to go up to. Thank you for the great advice, Tully says. We shall continue with this and keep you up to date with everything. Please, I appreciate it. And please tell Brianna that I've been thinking about her, and that I'm hoping that she's okay, and that, if she ever needs to talk, I'm here. I'm here. You guys know, I don't know if you've seen my show, Tully, but if you haven't, let me know. I'll send you a promotional copy of the movie. My friend, hey, how you doing? I don't, Sudisha, thank you for joining the show. Sudisha is an artist that is creating the animation for we're creating the animation. She's creating the drawings for our Magic Poco Stick show. Thank you for smashing that heart. Smash that heart, everyone. Now I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. But the important thing is that you keep taking it up and never stay silent. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to replay this and say, that's right. That's what I was talking about. But I'm always thinking, that's what I was talking about. So my movie, Dear Bully, is about just the same situation, Tully. I met a lady who was bullied in work. She introduced me to her son, like you did, introduced me to her son. We became friends on Facebook, and then I would text him or I would message him and say, if you ever need to talk, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And that's all I'm going to tell you. You have to see the movie if you want to know what else happened. But it was the same situation. I met, and again, I'm going to repeat it. I met a person online. They introduced me to their kid, and their kid, really not a kid. He was an adult by this time, but they introduced me to their child, I should say. And the child was bullied heavily, and I always said to him, you ever need to talk, I'm here. And I'm doing the same thing for Brianna. If you ever need to talk, if she ever needs to talk, I'm here. Tell her not to think like, oh my God, I'm bothering him. I don't care what time of day it is. She needs to talk. I do turn off my phone, just for anybody. I do turn off my phone at a certain time of the night, otherwise I'll never get sleep. So, but when I wake up, and if I see I need to talk from people, I always clear my schedule as best as I can and talk with them. Wing Chung Against Bullying. Thank you for joining the show. That's an interesting name. Let's see. Mr. Santiago says, Tully, you may want to ask your wife to help you with your shows. Why is that? Why do you think I should ask my wife? First of all, while I'm waiting for your answer, let me tell you this. My wife does not want to be on the show. She has lent me her voice a few times for the show, but she does not want to be on the show. She's a very private person. Years ago, when I was in school learning to create films, when I was in college, I often asked her, let's make videos of you teaching, because she was already teaching for like 10 years. I think she has a total of 20 years now teaching. She was 10 years into teaching. So I said, so let's make a bunch of videos of you showing people how to do math, how to spelling, whatever. And she was like, no, because she's a very private person. So, but it's funny that you say that to me. Why do you think I should ask you to help me with my shows? And I want you to know, Tully, that this is the longest show that we've had in a very long time. So thank you so much for coming on and lending us your opinions and lending us your story of what's happening to your daughter. And I hope that it allows more parents to say, to take the advice that we're giving and to tell us their story that's happening with their kid. But yeah, she's a very private person. She'll never come on. Oh, it was just a thought. Okay, yeah, fortunately. But I'm looking for an Italian, influencer to come on and do shows with me, so we can, kind of amp it up. And because there is bullying going on here. I know several people have told me that bullying is becoming prevalent in the society in Italy. And even before I moved to Italy, you guys may know, we had some followers from Italy that would tell us what's going on in Italy. So we know it's definitely a problem. Sheena, thank you for joining the show. Again, whether you're watching this live or recorded version, please smash that heart. Show me some love. Let's see. My wife helps me out quite a bit. Yeah, my wife helps out behind the scenes. If I need, like, the descriptions that you guys see, a good percentage of the time, my wife is the one that writes that. Like, what should I say here? She's the one that writes it out for me. So she does help out a lot behind the scenes. And thank you, my lovely wife, for all the help you do. So yes, my wife helps me out a lot behind the scenes. She's not a person that wants to do it in front of the scene. Most of the time, when you're watching videos of me, like creating, like what I'm trying to think of one video that we did. I can't think of one right now, but where she's the person holding the camera. So if you see videos of me where I'm in front of the camera, good percentage of time she's holding the camera. Sheena Guns, is that short for Gonzalez? Sheena Guns says you are good people. Thank you so much. Are you from back east in America, Sheena? Because those are most of the time when people say you're good people, that's where they are. They're from back east. And Wing Chung says, thank you for chiming in. Wing Chung says, bullying has no age limit from students to seniors. 100% right. Thank you for saying that. In fact, I'm going to pin that. Where are we? There we are. I'm pinning that one. Good job. Yes, it's true. You know, when I remember in 2015 when I got bullied, that's how long ago it was that I got bullied. And I used to talk about bullying in the workplace. People would be like, bullying in the workplace? What are you talking about? In fact, any of you guys watch Blackish? You guys know Marcus Scribbler, I hope I pronounced his name right. Marcus Scribbler is an actor in the comedy sitcom called Blackish. I interviewed him about bullying. When I told him, well, it wasn't me interviewing him, I was in the camera, but I had these two hosts that were doing it. And when they asked him, what do you think about bullying in the workplace? He was like, I don't know. Check our feed and you'll see the video. It's in our feed. He says, I don't know what to tell you about bullying in the workplace because I'm just a kid. That's exactly what he said. So, I mean, I think he's 21 years old now, but I think this is when he was 15 when we interviewed him. And he didn't know. He was like, what, bullying? And I can tell you right now that I interviewed a kid one time who was bullied. And they said, wait a minute. You mean to tell me there's bullying after school? They thought that the bullying would just happen in school, and the minute they finished school and were into the workplace, the bullying would stop. No. They were shocked to learn that the bullying went on after school. Tully says, yes, that's very true. So Wing Chun hitting it right on the head with bullying. Yes, there is bullying in school sports as well. Oh, yeah. For a long time, there's been bullying in school sports. I can remember when I was a kid one time, I was in football, and this kid came up to me and like kind of sucker hit me, and I turned around, I got up, and I pushed him on the floor. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, guys. I'm just saying what I did. The 15-year-old me, that's what he did. Pushed him on the floor, and I said, don't do that again. You want to go at it right now? We'll go at it right now. But don't you ever try to, basically sucker punch me, because we're playing a sport. So I don't know. You don't think you're playing a sport. You don't think someone's going to come out and tackle you for no reason. So, I let him know right away, and he stopped right away. The Germs family, thank you for joining the show. Wait, the Germs family guy, thank you for joining the show. So very good, Wing Chun again. Wing Chun's on it today, baby. Wing Chun against bullying, good job, he's on it. Some people, it really shocks me. I can remember one time, I'm not very good at basketball, but I can remember one time I was playing basketball, and this guy like hockey checked me and knocked me to the floor, and it's like, dude, no, I tell people right away, no, you that's how you're gonna play, we ain't gonna play, because this isn't hockey, or this isn't, if you're not good, they got mad because I kept, not that I'm any good at basketball, trust me, I'm not good at basketball, but I kept scoring on him, and he got pissed off. So when my back was turned to him, he decided to give me a check. And no, you tell those people right away, right there and then. No, I'm not gonna fight you, but if this is how you're gonna behave, I ain't playing. you know, because that's a coward way to handle stuff, in my opinion. If someone's scoring on you, go and score on them. Don't just like baseball. Hey Danielle, thank you for joining the show. Show me some love, Danielle. Smash that heart. Everyone, please, if you're watching this recorded or live version, please smash that heart. What was I going to say? Baseball. I love baseball. Some of you may know Yankees are my favorite team. I know Danielle knows that. Right, Danielle? Danielle knows that for sure. She knows. And the one thing I don't like about baseball is when a player hits a home run, right? The next time he's up at bat, sometimes some pitchers will hit him with the ball. And to me, that's very unsportsmanlike. That's very cowardly. The way I look at it, if I'm a pitcher and someone hits a home run on me, you know what I'm going to do the next time they're up? Strike them out. I'm not going to hit them with the ball. You know, and that it's excuse my language, but it's a bitch move. It is a cowardly bitch move. And if you're a professional player or you're an amateur player and you do that, you are horrible. Period. Get your shit together and deal with your demons and get it right. That's the way I look at it. Telly says, back in the day, I also punched out the school bully and it felt really good. Yeah, I bet. Oh, Dr. V is in the house. Hello, Dr. V. I don't know why all of a sudden, like, all these things pop up. So let me read what you guys wrote. I'm sorry that it... Danielle says, what's up? Dr. V gives a wave right back at you. Wing Chun, against bullying New York. Is that what the NY stands for? Oh, someone from my hometown says martial arts provides confidence to walk through life without fear of bullying. 100% right. I know I told this story, and again, I'm gonna pin that too. Boy, Wing Chun is. I'm gonna offer a challenge. Someone, please type up something that is profound like Wing Chun so I could pin your thing. That is so true. I told you guys this story time and time again, but I'm going to say it again. My son is a black belt in Taekwondo. And guess what? He has told me, I don't know if he's lying, or I shouldn't say lying, but not stretching the truth, but he's told me he's never had to use his Taekwondo ever. Why? Because he walks around with confidence. And so right what Wing Chun is saying. When you have a student who's knows martial arts, they carry themselves a certain way. And when they carry themselves a certain way, they're not targeted for bullying. So they never have to use the martial arts that their parents spent so much money to pay for. I mean, let's be honest, it's a lot of money. Let's see. And so Dr. V says, hello, how are you? I am doing fine, Dr. V, doing real fine. Glad I was able to catch the show today. I am glad too. Can you please give us your professional opinion about what you think about teachers who are bullying students? Because that's the topic today, Dr. V. Hopefully Dr. V is still there. Please, give us your professional opinion. I always like to get professional opinions because you guys know I'm not a professional, right? So please consult a professional lawyer, professional doctor, professional parent, a professional in any of the things I tell you on any of our shows. Dr. V says, yes, because your son's hands now are like a weapon. Yes. I guess you can say that they are like a weapon, but like I said, I've talked to a lot of kids who do martial arts, and probably I've talked to one kid or two kids who said, "No, I had to use my martial arts one time." But mainly, the main thing that happens is that students of martial arts never have to use their martial arts, because they carry themselves with confidence. Because believe me when I tell you, if someone, like what happened to me, if you get checked in school and you turn to that student and say, yo, you just bumped into me, can you please be a little more careful next time? 90% of the time, you're not going to get a, what's it to you? What are you going to do? And I've got that in my time. I've got that even as an adult. Hey, I went up to people and say, hey, you realize what you're doing to this person is called workplace bullying? I've done that thousands of times. And the person says to me, oh yeah, well, what are you going to do about it? I'm sorry, I'm just informing you. I'm going to do what I say is I'm going to do the same thing you're going to do. Nothing. And that's where we're going to keep this. But, most of the time people will realize what they're doing wrong. Let's see. Tully says, hey, Danielle, the lockdown has not been too bad here for us in Western Australia. Oh, did I miss a top? Oh, I'm sorry. I missed this, Danielle. How are you dealing with the lockdown? Yes, right now we are in orange. A couple of months ago, we were in red. So that means there's no movement. But I'm dealing with it okay. Dealing with it as best as I can. But thank you for the question, Danielle, and I'm sorry that I missed it. Thank you, Tully, for replying. Let's see, we have Tony Q. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to butcher this. Tony Nutuco. Thank you for joining the show. They probably already left because I haven't seen. Okay, so here's a professional opinion, guys. Okay, pay attention. You're getting this for free. Most people have to pay for this. Here's the opinion of our local doctor, Dr. Vasquez, guys. My opinion first is teachers who bully should be ashamed of themselves. So true. Teachers should care about the students in nurturing ways. Yes, true. There is no place in our schools for bullying. And there's your professional opinion. She also goes on to say, Dr. V also goes on to say, teachers should love children or step aside and find another trait. So true, Dr. V. And that goes for a lot. There are people that are in customer service that just don't know customer service. In my opinion, if I walk into your store, the first thing you should do is greet me. Hello, how you doing? Even if you're with another customer. Hello, thank you for coming to our store. I'll be right with you. But there's so many times that people just walk in. You walk in, I walk into a store, no one says anything to me. And then when I come up, finally walk up to the person who was like this, sitting on their phone for the whole time that I walked in, like this, and say, excuse me, well, how can I help you? Or or they just give you a look like, oh, am I inconveniencing you? Because you are at work, you realize that. Just some people just should not have customer service jobs or teach, in my opinion. Let's see. I was given advice from a friend at work to report bullying problems with anyone who finds a pro-risk form. Tell us more about this pro-risk form. And oh, wow. We've been doing the show for an hour and 8 minutes now. I guess there's no limit to the show now. Wow, so I got to pay attention because I don't want a real long show because long shows are not viewed. So we might have to wrap this up. But tell me more about this pro-risk form, please. Let's see, students look to teachers for social and emotional learning. That's from our local doctor, Dr. Vasquez. Yeah, parents send their kids to school hoping that the kids will be taken care of and will be safe. So when the teacher is the bully, that's straight up. I'm getting ready to curse everybody, so be ready. That's fucking bullshit. Period. If I offended anyone with my language, I apologize. That wasn't my point, but there is sometimes when certain words need to be used. I'm sorry, but certain words need to be used. So Miss Newly Brainly, thank you for joining the show. I love the names that are coming on the show. So yeah, we're going on 70 minutes, guys, and the app hasn't told us. Sorry, Rich, time to end the show. So that's very interesting. But But our topic, for those of you that are just joining us, if you want to chime in real quick before we end the show, please, I want to hear your guys' opinion. This is your show, not my show. My name is on the title, but it's your show. Remember that. The topic is about a Napa teacher who is accused of bullying a student. And some my followers have sent me videos, okay? Have sent me videos of teachers that were physically bullying their students. And I thank you guys. They don't wish to be named. I thank you guys who anonymously sent me those videos. Keep stuff like that coming. If you have a topic for a show, please put it in any of our in the comments of any of our inspirational posts, so they can start conversation between our 5,000 followers that we have. We need this. People need to see that we're all the same. We are a community of people who either have been bullied or want to end bullying or don't like bullying, and we should have conversation between one another. You know, what worked for me to help me end my bullying, so that someone else who's currently being bullied could say, hey, let me try that and do it. And that's why it's good to do this. And Miss Newly Brain gives me a laugh, and she gives me a thank you for coming on the show. I'm going to try to do this every day, guys. So please bear with me. I'm very busy. As you guys know, I'm making videos for the United States Army. So if you guys want to see the stuff that I did, DM me and I'll send you the link to the U.S. Army where the videos are being posted. Tully says the pro-risk form goes straight to the director of nursing and is continually comes up into the computer if it's not followed through. Oh, okay. And can you do it unanimously? Anonymously? I mean, I'm very interested to know that. So I guess we're so we don't have a time limit anymore. I guess I can do a 5-hour show if I wanted to, and I would love to. You know, I love talking to you guys, but I really have to go. And I thank you guys for coming on. I want to Wing Chung, thank you for the great things you said. Miss Newly Brained, who else we got? Of course, Books That Sold, Dr. Vasquez, my good friend Tully, Pico for coming on the show, Tuni Tuko, thank you for coming on the show. Who else? GV Hottie 2003, thank you for joining the show. Who else we got here? Let's see. Come on. Let's see who else we got here. Sheena Guns, thank you for joining the show. Sandusha, thank you for joining the show. Thank you. If I missed you, I am so sorry, guys. But thank you for coming on the show. And I want to remind you guys that live feed is brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying, so let them help you. And by Traveling Tech Teacher. Hey, if you are teaching your kids remotely, please check out travelingtechteacher.com. They have some very affordable lesson plans up there that you can use when you're homeschooling your kids, all right? So check it out, travelingtechteacher.com, all right, guys? And I want to remind you guys that anyone can wear the crown, okay? Remember that anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. Be kind to one another and have a great day. Bye, guys.